like I've been saying. And come Saturday, I'm just going to show the world.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. all the time.
It's all right. It's all right.
What's up, everybody? It is fight day. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too. First off, my apologies, man. I really wanted to cover the weigh-ins reaction last night, but kids had football practice. Had to be up early this morning for work for half a day. Yeah, I really wanted to get to it, but, you know, Papa Bear got to get that rest, you know, got to go make this money. But I watched the weigh-ins yesterday. I did watch it live. But Crawford came in at 167.5. Canelo Alvarez, the same, weighs in 167.5. But I did want to say, as I mentioned in the previous videos, and I know probably some people didn't like it because they keep thinking that I'm trying to push the UFC into boxing. Look how smooth the weigh-ins went yesterday. They did the weigh-ins exactly like the UFC does the weigh-ins. You have the early weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, 9 a.m. Vegas time. They had every single fighter on the card was ready to go to weigh in at 9 a.m. They had the champions first, Canelo and Crawford, weighed in, and then all the undercard fighters weighed in right after that. Bright and early, 9 a.m. That gives them more than 24 hours to begin to rehydrate, get healthy, feeling better. Because anybody who's ever cut weight, I have personally 19 times on the professional level, when you cut weight, the earlier that you can weigh in gives you more time to rehydrate and recover for fight day. I love that the UFC does that. They made that change probably about 10 years ago, I believe, because they used to do the weigh-ins in the afternoons, and those were the official weigh-ins. So you have guys struggling, hurting, starving all day till 5, 6 p.m., and then they have to fight the next day, you know, around the same time. It gives you 24 hours. You do it early, it gives you more time to rehydrate, get all those fluids back into your body, your organs, your brain. I mean, some of these guys, especially on the UFC side, so boxers don't cut as much weight as UFC fighters. And that's just a fact. It's a well-known fact. Most boxers probably cut anywhere from 8, 15. If it's a real big cut for them, it's 20 pounds. Maybe. On average, UFC fighters are cutting 20 to 25 the week of. And it's all the science behind it. You have to water load early during the week. You can't come in too heavy with a lot of excess body fat. That's what kills the guys. If you're in shape, you've got good muscle on you, your muscles hold a lot of water, and then you water load early in the week. I used to do 2 gallons on Monday, gallon and a half Tuesday, gallon Wednesday, half a gallon Thursday, maybe no gallons on Thursday. And then Friday or Thursday night or Friday morning, you just push all that water out. And it makes the cut a lot easier. Wrestlers like me, I wrestled back in the day. You know how it is to cut weight. And the more that you do it, the more you dial it in. And the easier it gets for you. As long as you know how to maintain yourself between fights. You know, sometimes you get too heavy and it's a lot harder, you know. That's why you see these guys in the UFC who fight at 45 or 55. These guys are walking around 180, 190. You know, when I was fighting at 155, I knew guys that fought at 55, they were walking around 200 pounds. Easily 200 pounds. So the UFC fighters, MMA guys have it more dialed in, you know, as compared to the boxers. And then you have the UFC PI that really helps these guys with their diets, cutting weight, you know, all that stuff, you know. So, but back to the weigh-ins. We saw both the guys weighing at 167.5. Both looked in amazing shape. Bud looked good. This is probably the most lean and shredded that I've seen Canelo probably since before the Caleb Plant fight. I don't even remember him looking this shredded for the Caleb Plant fight. But that was at 9 a.m. At the ceremonial weigh-ins that they did last night, around 6 or 7, Bud, you could tell, looked a little bit fuller. And I think that's probably as full as you're going to get. He probably weighed in at 167.5 at the ceremonial weigh-ins. He probably rehydrated all day. He was probably up to 175, 176. Yeah, I'd probably say 175, 176, maybe 177. Canelo looked a little bit fuller as well. But Canelo will be at least 180, 182 tomorrow. Or today, I'm sorry. I think Bud's probably put on as much weight as he's going to put on. Because, like he said, that's his walk-around weight. He's not really cutting a lot to get 268. So, he'll probably be about 175. Maybe, I think. If that. If that. Canelo will be all 180, 182, 183, possibly. So, I'm not... They're saying that they're the same weight, and they are. They are. But I want to give a huge shout out to Showbiz the Adult, man. I watched this video earlier today when I was leaving my son's football game, soccer, that we call here in the States. But he made the comparison because Bud is a snack fighter. That Mikey Garcia, when he went up 2 divisions to fight Earl Spence. And he actually weighed in at the limit, just like Spence did. And he actually came in the next day heavier than Spence did. But anybody who watched that fight saw that, one, Mikey couldn't carry the extra weight, and he faded late. It faded late, and he was taking damage to the point where Robert Garcia, his brother, and his dad wanted to stop the fight in the 8th or 9th. But Mikey said, don't stop it. He's not hurting me. But he was getting hit a lot that fight. And then he made the comparison to Bubu Andrade. Andrade, I don't know. The way he spells his last name is the same way that the Brazilians in the UFC, like Jessica Andrade, and they pronounce it Andrade, but I guess he says it Andrade. I don't know. I'm just going to go how he says it, Andrade, whatever. You guys know who I'm talking about. He did the same thing when he fought David Benavidez. He came up a weight. He's a snack fighter. He looked shredded and big at the weigh-ins. I mean, he was just flexing, big biceps, big shoulders, ripped abdomen, everything. And then we saw how that fight played out. He completely gassed out after the 3rd or 4th round. And he was putting that work on Benavidez those first couple rounds. He gasses out, slows down. I don't know if it was the extra weight. Same thing with Mikey. I don't know if it was extra weight. They weren't able to be as active in the later rounds. They slowed down considerably, and then they both got that work put on them. I'm not saying Bud is Andrade. I'm not saying Bud is Mikey Garcia, but they have the same lifting programs. They have the same nutritionist programs. So Bud looked great on the scale. He looks bigger. He looks more muscular. We're going to see how it plays out. You know, I'm hoping he doesn't gas out late like those 2 other guys that I mentioned. But it is a possibility. And Canelo is used to fighting at this weight. He's not going to gas. He's not going to fade late. You know, if Bud can't push him around and get respect early, like I said, I've already called it. I think Bud gets dropped mid-rounds, and then I think he gets finished in the later rounds, 8, 9, 10. But I still hope it's going to be a great fight. I know it's going to be a great fight because Bud is a dog. But don't get that twisted that me saying he's a dog is going to win. I think he's a dog because he's going to be in the fight for as long as it lasts. Because I think Canelo is hungry. I think Bud sparked the fire under him. We've never seen Canelo in this great of shape coming into a fight in the last 5, 6 years. I think he's hungry. He wants to make a statement, and I think he's going to make that statement today. And like I said, I just hope it's a great fight for as long as it lasts. But I am picking Canelo still to win by stoppage. I'm going to be back here in a little bit. The prelim cards is on right now for the UFC Noche. I'm going to do a live stream for the main card. And then I'm going to do a recap immediately after Canelo Crawford tonight. It'll probably be late around midnight, if not later, Texas time. But it will be coming. And thank you guys for watching, taking the time to watch my videos. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I can't wait. It's fucking fight day. Hope you guys are excited. I'm ready to go. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Peace.